I am Brad Keelor. They are Ishraq Faruk and Alinda Gupta. Find out next on Director's Cut, something you may not have known about Bangladesh.
Bright lights, TV screen.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Director's Cut. My name is Brad Keelor. I'm the director of the Geo-Institute, and that is why we call this show Director's Cut. Every single week, I sit down with a different GI member who has stories to tell. Some of them are personal, some of them are professional, and yet all of them are fun. If you like what you see today, and I think you're going to, you should do a few things. You can click like, subscribe, get notifications, and if you do those, we will let you know every time we post something to the YouTube channel. If you are not familiar with the Geo-Institute, I don't even know how you got here, but if you don't know anything about the Geo-Institute, after you watch the interview today, head over to geoinstitute.org. There you will find out that we are a technical society with about 12,000 members, most of whom are geotechnical engineers and or geologists, and that we are part of the American Society of Civil Engineers. I said at the beginning that every week I sit down with a GI member, but you will notice, viewers, there are two Geo-Institute members in front of you this week. Coming to you from the University of Texas-Arlington, where they are both PhD students, it is Ishraq Faruk and Alinda Gupta. Guys, welcome. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you, Brad, for having us.
So,
Thank you so much.
One very important thing that we're going to say right up front, for our viewers, these are the two winners of this year's Geo-Shirt competition. If you are at Geo-Congress in Los Angeles, and I hope you are, look at the student competitions, look at the amazing red shirts that all the students will be wearing, and these are the guys who designed them. So we'll talk a little bit more about that later on in the show. First, we have to get to the important stuff. We have 10 questions, the same way we always do. And we're going to start with one of the two that we ask everybody. And we'll start with Ishraq, and then we'll go to Alinda. Ishraq, describe your job in 45 seconds.
I'm a PhD student in the Department of Civil Engineering. I'm majoring in geotechnical engineering. And as a PhD student, my job is to conduct research on different projects. So I'm currently working on a plastic road that is funded by TX. And for that project, I have to visit site as per demand and conduct researches and do modifications to the mix design that we will be working on and testing the performance of that mix design and selecting methods of applying that on the real life events like paving a road like that.
Perfect. Alinda, what about you?
Yeah, so I am a fourth year PhD student. My major is geotechnical engineering. So I came to UTA in 2020 spring from Bangladesh after pursuing my bachelor's in civil engineering. So I am working under Dr. Shahzad Hussain. We have a large group of people in here in our lab. We call it Swiss lab. So yeah, I'm working on slope stability mostly. So yeah.
Very good. We will get to the research that you guys are working on in just a minute. We always have to ask the fun questions on Director's Cut, and that's where we're going to start right now. What is the one most important item for a geotech grad student to have? Ishraq, you want to start us off?
I think if it's a physical item, it should be a computer.
Pretty important.
Yeah, we cannot do anything without that. Like everything, every notes, every analysis, it is being done in the computer. So I think that is the one most important thing a grad student needs.
Alinda, what do you think?
Yeah, as a geotechnical engineer, my answer is a quite bit serious. As a geotechnical engineer, as a grad student, you should have an access to the field visits. You should know your soil. You should know the color of the soil. You should know how it feels. If you, simulation is a very big part going on nowadays for the geotechnical engineers. But if you don't really know what you are dealing with physically, I think that is very important. So going to site, knowing the soil, how it works, how it characterized. So yeah, that is a very important part for a geotechnical student as a grad student.
So one thing that we talked about before we started recording is, what if it wasn't a physical item? What do you guys think? If it's not a physical item, what's the most important thing?
I think
right.
like it should be the confidence of the engineer. Like if I'm confident in a design or in a I am confident that this bore log is correct, the water level is right here, then that is the main thing. I think if I can say anything with confidence and do the work confidently, then I think confidence is a item to have in a grad student.
Perfect. Alinda, what do you think?
I want to add that to the confidence, you must need your knowledge, a vast depth of knowledge. So you have to study a lot. You have to go through all the papers. There are so many empirical relations in geotechnical engineering, right? So if you just know some of them, and if you don't have any idea the other some of them, you might struggle. So yeah, you have to study a lot. You have to gain the knowledge frequently, and it's updating every day. So yes.
You guys are saying all the right stuff to make your advisors happy, I think. So that was very good, both the physical and the non-physical items. And we're going to go back and talk a little bit more about your research now. I know, Ishraq, you touched on it a little bit in your answer, and Alinda, you did too. Can you guys both talk a little bit about the research that you're working on currently?
So me and Alinda, we are both working in Swiss lab under Dr. Shahadat Hussain. So my project is a plastic road project. It's funded by TX. And what I'm trying to do is we are getting the waste plastics from landfills and the MRF, the material recovery facility, and we are trying to use those in by mixing it in a dry mix. So that it can replace bitumen, and sometimes we are replacing aggregates with plastics, and we are trying to see what is the ideal mix for the design. As far we have gone through our research, we have already found the ideal design. We're mixing various types of plastics like LDPE, PP, and HDPE, and we have found that LDPE works the best. And the funny thing is, LDPE is not the most recycled one. It's always there on the landfills. So we are trying to make a way to recycle that LDPE into a new method by constructing a pavement with that. And we are doing Hamburg wheel tracking test for the rutting. We are doing indirect tensile strength test for the strength, and moisture susceptibility test. These are all performance tests we are conducting, and we're having really good results.
That is great. Alinda, what about you?
Yeah, so as Ishraq said, we are mostly dealing with waste. The name of our lab is Swiss Solid Waste Institute for Sustainability. So we are taking the waste and finding a solution for it. So for me, it's almost the same, just I am using the recycled plastic to make the plastic pins. It's like the lumbers, but it's 4-inch by 4-inch size. So we are putting it in the highway slopes for the slope stability, and we are doing it for last 10 years, and it's working perfectly fine. We are minimizing the waste, and we are using it for the slope stabilization. So yes, I have already worked on this for 3 years, and we have implemented a lot of sites after I joined this lab.
So for both of you, I always think one of the coolest things about research is the stuff you didn't expect to find along the way. For both of you, and maybe we'll start with Alinda and then we'll go back to Ishraq on this one. What's the most surprising thing that you found out during your research that you've been doing at UTA?
Yes, so I was following this research for a long time back in undergrad. So I was not quite sure if it really works. So when I came back here, I went to site, I watched the site, and even I myself did the installation. So after the several years, when I see the results, it was quite surprising that it's holding up a lot. We have inclinometers, we have moisture sensors. So if you look at those data, you will be surprised that it really works. So that's the best part of my research.
Oh, that's awesome. Ishraq, what about you? What's been the most surprising?
The surprising thing is that the waste plastics, those can be used to enhance the performance of the pavement. Like, it was amazing. Like, I never imagined about it, like something collected from the landfill and we're using it as a strength enhancer for the pavement, and it's working. Like, every type of plastics we are adding to the pavement, it's increasing the strength more than the typical pavement we have. And we have done the laboratory test. We have not done any kind of implementation, but in future we are planning to implement it in Dallas, Texas, and also in Bangladesh. So I think when it will be implemented, it will be like a really great project.
So here's a weird question that I never thought of until now. Are plant-based plastics actually a threat to this kind of thing? Because the time that it takes them to biodegrade is so much less than traditional petroleum-based plastics.
Yes.
How would it impact this? I would guess that you could not use those in road surfaces, correct?
Yes. The surprising thing is, as you were saying, it's not biodegradable, and it takes around 500 years to degrade.
Yeah.
So if you put those plastics, for me, in the highway embankment, basically we have tested the chemical test and we have found out that it has no side effects, environmental side effects. So it will take 500 years or 600 years to degrade. So instead of staying it in the landfill, taking some spaces, it can stay on the embankment.
That is great. So well done, guys. Good answers, both. I think one thing that a lot of people remember from when they were in school, this goes all the way through grad school, is staying up all night. And people remember doing it because they had a big project to do, but I can tell you, even in undergrad, I stayed up all night just for fun sometimes. I look back and I don't understand why, but I did. So when was the last time you stayed awake all night, and why did you do it? And Ishraq, we'll start with you again.
It's kind of funny, like I stayed up all night just last night because as I have told you, I have gone to Washington, D.C., and my flight was in the morning, so I were in the airport like for the whole night and I didn't sleep.
Whoa.
So that was the last time I didn't sleep.
Expect it to be so recent, but that's good. Good answer. Good answer. Alinda, what about you?
Yeah, mine was quite typical answer. I had my proposal defense back in last year in April. So I had to stay all night. I was so nervous. I was well prepared though, but it was, for me to stand in front of the committee members to give my presentation, it was a really big deal for me. So I was quite nervous and couldn't sleep all night.
I get that. Now, it's funny because I do think back, I used to have a rule, and maybe this is why I got the grades I did when I was in undergrad. I would say, I should never study more than 3 hours for anything. After 3 hours, I'm not going to learn anymore. I should just go to bed because at least then I'll be rested. I'm not sure that was a good plan. But
yeah, I used to follow this plan when I used to live with my parents.
Oh, God, I'm glad I wasn't the only one.
My father used to say, after 12, you have to go to bed. You don't learn anything after 12. Whatever you have learned, that's enough. Go tomorrow for the exam.
I like that. That's perfect. Because I mean, my attitude was like, if I can study for this much and get like an 87 or whatever, why would I study this much and get a 93? That doesn't seem worth it. That's a good answer then. So the other, well, not the other, because we're going to ask a couple more here. This is another, I feel like, very student-focused question. I know I was always on the lookout for the cheapest food I could find that was still good, because you don't want to eat cheap, bad food. That's not good either.
Yes.
So for you guys in Arlington or in the whole Dallas area, what's the best cheap food? Ishraq, we'll start with you again.
Yeah, like this was a really difficult question for me because I don't think there is much option of cheap food around here. So what I have found is that there is a burger place that sells like college burgers at a specific date, like in Tuesdays. So burger and fries at a really cheap price, like that is like a really cheap food for me right now, currently.
And how much is it? I gotta know.
That's $4.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So that definitely fits it. And it's edible. It's good enough to eat, it sounds
yeah,
like.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
Alinda, what about you?
Yeah, so we have a small downtown in Arlington. There are quite a lot of small food carts where you get the tacos. Texas is almost near Mexico. So there are a lot of taco places over here. So yeah, those are the really cheap option for us. And you know what? I must say that Arlington is. I have been some places in USA. So as far as I have experience. Arlington is the cheapest area for food. You will get Mexican for $1.50.
If you guys want to have like a big night out and you're not worried about money, what's your number one choice to eat in the Dallas area?
That's steak.
Yeah, Texas steaks.
Yeah.
Steak over barbecue, over brisket?
Yeah, of course, brisket. Yeah.
Okay.
The Texas brisket. Right.
Everybody around you is going to be happy after that answer.
Yes.
So the other question that we ask everybody when they come on Director's Cut is, how did you first get involved with ASCE and GI? Alinda, we'll start with Alinda this time.
Yeah, okay. So after coming to USA in UTA, I heard about ASCE. Basically, I used to heard a lot about ASCE in my undergrad, but since I am here in America, so I should be a member of ASCE. That's what I thought. So that's how I came to know from my colleagues how to apply for membership. And then I got the member. And last year I went to Geo-Congress 2022 in Charlotte. It was quite a good experience for me. So yeah, that's how I came to know about ASCE and GI. And we met you last time. I didn't know you before that, unfortunately. But from the very beginning, we got your presentation and everything before the Take Award. Yeah, I think that before the Tarzaki Award. So yeah, we came to know about you. And when you emailed us, we are so happy to be here.
That's good. I'm happy that people are excited to be on Director's Cut, because I always worry that they're going to get the email and they're going to be like, really? I have to do this. Ishraq, what about you? How did you get started with ASCE and GI?
I was familiar with ASCE from my undergraduate years, but actually in Bangladesh we don't have any kind of direct way to get involved with ASCE. So after coming here, when I heard from my colleagues that I can be a student member, so that's what the first thing I did after coming here. To get involved with ASCE, I became a student member. And last year I went to the Geo-Congress 2022. So that's where I met everyone of the ASCE, and I actually wanted to get involved. So after that, this time I participated in this competition and I tried actually to get involved with GI and ASCE.
Geo-Congress, I always call it the Geotech family reunion because you see people, there are a lot of people you'll see who only see some other of their friends there every year, but they get together and everybody gets back together. It's a good time. And of course, we will be in Los Angeles next week for Geo-Congress. And that's why you guys are here today. Every year, for our viewers who don't know, we have multiple student competitions. The Geo Wall is maybe the most famous because it's the biggest and craziest, and you can hear it from wherever you are in the convention center, I think, because it's really loud. Geo Prediction, Geo Poster, Geo Video, and then Geo-Shirt. Every year, students can compete to design the shirts that all the students will wear and all the students will get during the student competitions. And Ishraq and Alinda, you are our 2023 champions. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So I have to ask, what was the inspiration for the design you created? And Ishraq, we'll start with you.
Yeah. So when I attended last year's Geo-Congress, so last year we got to know that the next Geo-Congress is going to be in LA. And after seeing different types of geo competitions, we actually wanted to participate in some kind of competitions. And so we chose Geo-Shirt because we thought that it would be a great competition where we can use our creativity and both geotechnical issues to like develop a design. And after hearing last year that the Geo-Congress is going to be in LA, we got fixated that we have to do this on LA abrasion test, because one of the rules of the Geo-Shirt is to honor the venue. Yeah. So it's going to be in LA, so we have to do something with LA, like LA abrasion test. So that's why we did it like that. Yeah, that's what awesome. That was my inspiration.
Alinda, you have anything to add?
Yeah, so basically in our undergrad, we have different types of departmental competitions or programs. So we had a culture. We have to make a t-shirt for every program. So when last year we attended Charlotte, this year we heard that this year is going to be in LA. So we are very excited that we need to go to LA. So we plan to participate in this competition. So we are just talking about it. We did a lot in our undergrad, so why not try it? We are not old enough to ignore all these things. We want to go to LA and we want to design a shirt to show the design that we can think and we can come up with. So yeah, that was the background story kind of.
And you guys were the winners. Now, we talked a little bit before the interview. I have on today my 2022 Geo-Shirt winning design. I didn't think ahead to bring home one of the 2023 shirts, but it's good that I did this because there's an amazing story about this. Alinda, turns out you know the person who created the design for this shirt. Who did last year's design?
It was my twin brother. His name is Niloy, and one of my other lab mates, she was Sachini. So Niloy and Sachini did this in the last year. So one of the inspirations of looking at their competition. So when they succeeded, we thought that, yeah, we can try to.
So I guess the follow-up question there is, do you have any other brothers or sisters who are going to enter the competition next year and potentially win?
No.
So the Gupta dynasty will be over after this year.
Yes. We may try again.
Yeah, absolutely. And for all of our viewers, especially the students who are watching out there, you can find all the information that you'd like about the student competitions at geo-institute.org. The rules get posted around Labor Day every year. And of course, next year, Geo-Congress will be in Vancouver. So you might want to come by and check that out if you can. So we've got 3 questions left, and we have another research and practice one here for you guys. And this one is, what topic that you've worked on in grad school are you most excited to explore out in the real world in research or practice? And Alinda, we can start with you on this one.
Yeah, so I had a course It's called art reading structure. The professor was very interesting. He did a great job. So I was wondering, when I roam through the Dallas highways, there are lots of retaining walls, MEC walls basically. So I'd like to know the engineering behind it. So I have learned a little bit, and I want to see how it works in the real life, because those are huge and those can their capacity is quite a lot. So I want to know how it works. Yeah, that fascinates me a lot whenever I drive through the Dallas highway.
That's great. Ishraq, what about you?
I think the most fascinating thing I want to work with is like embankments. Like embankments are amazing. So the designing of the embankments, also facilitating the drainage of the embankment. So I worked it on a graduate course, and we are working it on our research. So when I like going on to do practice, so I really want to work with that and explore the field.
Fantastic, and both, very, very applied, very real world applications there. So that is exciting. So people have probably picked up by now from listening to you that you are both originally from Bangladesh. I won't say that Americans don't know a lot about the rest of the world, but sometimes Americans don't know a lot about the rest of the world. So what's something from both of you, and Ishraq, we'll start with you, what's something about Bangladesh that most Americans don't know?
I think most Americans don't know that Bangladesh has lots of rivers, and Bangladesh is the largest delta in Southeast Asia. And that's why the mangrove forest, Sundarban, is thriving there because of the delta. And all the coastal areas, the delta, the soil from the delta, the deposit of that is like finer soils like silts and clay. Bangladesh is sitting on a lot of silt and clay. And it also imposes like different types of disasters to happen there. So it is really challenging for Bangladesh to overcome those. And currently, Bangladesh is doing great. Like they're overcoming the disasters and everything around there. So I think that's one thing Americans don't know about Bangladesh.
Fantastic. Alinda, what about you?
I want to add, we have the longest sea beach in the world. So it's a very nice place. It's called Cox's Bazar. So it's a very nice place. And I want to add one thing. You have already heard about International Mother Language Day, right? On 21st February. So UNESCO had declared 21st February as International Mother Language Day because we had a movement back in 1952 in Bangladesh. That was then East Pakistan. We are part of Pakistan. So we had a movement for establishing Bangla as a national language. So several students died in that movement. So in honor to that, UNESCO declared this 21st February as an International Mother Language Day. Many people may not know, but it originated from there.
That is super interesting. Now, I do want to ask both of you, and this wasn't on the list, so I'm going to, surprise you with a bonus question here. For people who don't hear it every day, what are the biggest differences between Bengali and other languages in the area? What is a surefire way that you could recognize a Bengali speaker?
It's a difficult one. It's not like Hindi, not like Assami. Those are very nearby areas. Bangla is quite interesting because it is a mix of a lot of languages, because a lot of people from different countries went to Bangladesh in 1800, 1700. Like we have Portuguese, we have English, even we have English language words in our language. We have Portuguese, we have Dutch, and so many. And it's quite, I'd say it's quite hard to learn Bangla.
I would imagine, and yet it's one of the most spoken languages in the world. Correct? It's
Yes.
It's got to be number 5
Because
or
we
6.
we have a huge population.
Yeah. Still, if you're that high on the list, it's still pretty important.
Yeah.
So we did mention a couple times that Geo-Congress 2023 is coming up next week. I feel like I can't say it enough. It's the only thing we're thinking about over here at the Geo-Institute. For both of you guys, and we'll start with you, Ishraq, what are you most looking forward to about Geo-Congress 2023?
Last time in the Geo-Congress, I have attended the technical sessions, and those were great. Like, I got to know many new technologies and many new stuffs about different geotechnical applications. So I am looking forward to those. And also I'm looking forward to distributing the t-shirts. Like, it will be a fun experience. Like, I might get to know various kinds of new people, and they might get to know me. So it will be a fun experience for me, I think.
Alinda, what about you?
Yes. So I'm very excited about distributing the t-shirts too. I will meet a lot of people, and I will get, I hope, a lot of appreciation. And Geo-Congress is always a platform to networking. So I got to meet a lot of people, and I'm looking forward to the special lectures too. I found it quite interesting last time when I attended. So yes.
That's great. Well, I'm glad both of you guys are going to be there with us, and congratulations again on winning the Geo-Shirt competition. What a cool way to get a nice little travel grant and be able to head out to Los Angeles. And for all of our viewers, be sure to check out their winning t-shirt design either at the student competitions. If there are any left, we might have a few at the GI booth that people can pick up in exchange for a donation to the Student Participation Fund to help fund all these excellent initiatives that the Geo-Institute does for its student members. That was a lot of words. I have to remember the other ones I have to say. You made it to the end. All of our viewers, if you liked what you saw, and you probably did because you're still here, click like, subscribe, get notifications, and of course, we will let you know every time we add something to our YouTube channel. Ishraq, Alinda, thank you guys so much for coming on here and for all your great answers. This was a lot of fun. I hope you had a good time.
Yeah, I had a good time.
Thank you so much, Brad. It was our pleasure to be here.
For all of our viewers, again, we hope to see you next week in Los Angeles. If you don't, you can follow along on the live streams, watch all the award lectures from wherever you are, and we will have 2 episodes of Director's Cut that we film live in Los Angeles. So be on the lookout for one of those next week. Thanks, everybody, sticking around, and we will be back next week with a brand new episode of Director's Cut.